Alright, Eurobasket 2025 has officially come to an end, with the German national team capturing the Eurobasket title, former Laker Dan Shooter being declared the Eurobasket MVP, and many players standing out from their own national teams and potentially having a way back to the NBA. I mean, much like the Olympic competition last year, we've seen Guerschon Yabusele stand out for the French national team, that earning him an NBA contract, and he definitely made the most of it. Really playing well for Philadelphia last season, averaging 11 points per game, 6 rebounds per game, shooting 38% from 3, and now being granted a new contract and being paid more money. So could there maybe be a replication of that? Another player from a national team that stood out during the Eurobasket competition? Maybe somebody from the German national team, again they won the Eurobasket title, maybe somebody from the Turkish national team that took second place, or simply a standout role player that might have earned their way back to the NBA? Maybe. So with that in mind here, we're going to talk about a couple of them, if they can come back to the NBA, which ones are being talked about the most, and which one I've seen a few of you commenting about, and talk about if they would be a good fit for the Lakers, and if it would be worth it for them to try and sign them. So we'll talk about that and try to break it all down here. Real quick though, I do want to clarify that despite the Lakers having an open roster spot, they don't currently have enough to sign a player to that 15th spot. Now if they would make a salary dump trade, or simply make a trade like maybe an Andrew Wiggins trade, and open up more cap space or rather space under the first apron, then they could fill that 15th or maybe 13th or 14th spot after that trade. So yes, they technically could, but they have to make some kind of trade and salary dump move first. But with that being said, now let's talk about guys that they could sign if they would make that kind of salary dump move. And well, to begin, I do want to give an honorable mention, this going to Jordan Loyd of the Polish national team, averaging 22.4 points per game during the Eurobasket competition, not to mention on a very efficient 42.2% three-point shooting, leading the Polish national team to 7 games in the Eurobasket competition, leading them to a couple of upsets and definitely standing out, but I'm not sure he's even NBA eligible, not sure if he has an NBA out or rather an out on his current contract in the EuroLeague, and I simply don't think he would be a good fit for the Lakers team even if he would. So again, do want to give an honorable mention to him. I watched a couple games of him and he definitely played well, but I don't think he would be a great option. So apart from him, I do want to talk about 2 other players, one of which could be NBA eligible to return, both of which have played in the NBA, both of which were drafted to the NBA, and actually have had 4+ year NBA careers. The first of which being former LeBron James teammate and former Cleveland Cavalier Cedi Osman. Yes, unfortunately he is out of the NBA. I'm not entirely sure why, and I never thought he really should have had to leave the NBA. I mean, during his final year in 2023-24, averaging roughly 7 points per game, 2.5 rebounds per game, and shooting 39% from the 3-point line on roughly 3.1 attempts per game, playing 17 minutes per game for the San Antonio Spurs, I thought he would easily get an NBA contract. At one time, I even thought he would get above a minimum contract, and I thought the Lakers might even have interest in him. Some reports even said that they maybe did have interest in him, though never officially offered him a contract. I think that he definitely does belong in the NBA, and he proved that during the Eurobasket competition, playing with the Turkish national team who did take second place, losing in the championship to the German national team, and Cedi Osman was definitely a standout for their team too, averaging 16 points per game, 2.8 rebounds per game, shooting per usual a very efficient mark from the 3-point line, shooting 52.7% while taking 6.1 of them per game, making 3.2 of them per game. Along with that, was very efficient from the field in general, shooting 53.4%, all around being very efficient, playing on the ball, playing off the ball, playing his usual 3&D plus kind of role on team, and once again he proved that he can do that and do it at a very high level too. And like I said, he's literally proven it in the NBA, being a 35.7% career 3-point shooter, averaging 9.3 points per game, playing 23 minutes per game, playing for some playoff teams in the past, definitely contributing to them and showing that he can be a 7th, 8th man off your bench. I'm really confused why he's not in the NBA. And again, he showed why during the Eurobasket competition. I mean, he pretty much played the role that he would for an NBA team. Maybe not quite that many minutes and maybe not quite that production level, but he pretty much did exactly what he would be doing for an NBA team. Playing at the 3-point line, doing some occasional on-ball duty but mainly playing off the ball, drawing attention away from your primary ball handlers and being able to knock down a shot at a very efficient rate when he does get the ball. Apart from that, playing some decent, albeit unspectacular defense, definitely is not a defensive liability, though he also won't wow you on defense and isn't the best option for a tough defensive matchup, but he's probably pretty close to a 3&D option, is good enough to get the job done defensively while being a plus offensive player and a very good 3-point shooter. I think that he definitely does deserve a spot on an NBA roster, and he showed it again too. And to my knowledge, he does have an out on his current EuroLeague contract. To my knowledge, he could return back to the NBA, he could take an NBA contract, and immediately sign to an NBA team. So if there's a trade left to be made, and if any team has room for him, especially talking about a contending team, then I definitely would take a hard look at Cedi Osman. Only 30 years old yet, and probably in the prime of his NBA or rather basketball career, I guess. Showed it and showed that he can still play at a very high level at the Eurobasket competition, and as a proven background in the NBA, he should be on a team in my opinion. But then for the second Eurobasket player we'll talk about, a guy that definitely stood out during the Eurobasket competition, a guy that's actually a former Laker and a player the Lakers did draft back in 2018, a guy that I've seen a few of you commenting about. This player happens to be Isaac Bonga. Like I said, he is a former Lakers draft pick, the 39th overall draft pick of the 2018 NBA draft, playing 1 year with the Lakers, later being traded to Washington, then eventually signing with Toronto back in 2021-22, then falling out of the NBA, later returning to Europe and finally developing, and somehow is only 25 years old yet. You know, he's found a way to put his game together and now has become a pretty solid 3&D option, as he showed throughout the Eurobasket competition. Averaging roughly 10 points per game, shooting 45.2% for the field, grabbing 4.5 rebounds per game, 2 assists per game, all around doing the dirty work for their team, showing his defensive prowess and being a defensive playmaker, averaging 1.4 steals per game, being named the best defender of the Eurobasket competition, not to mention the Eurobasket Finals MVP, dropping 20 points in that game with 4 made 3-point shots, grabbing 5 rebounds, and all around doing the little things that help them get there and win the actual game. Isaac Bonga appears to have really rounded out his game and become a high-level role player too. However, the unfortunate thing with him is that he does not have an NBA out on his current EuroLeague contract. This coming from Serbian outlet Mozart Sports, saying that Isaac Bonga extended his contract with Partizan this summer, keeping him with the club until 2027. The contract reportedly included an NBA exit clause in it, but it has since expired, meaning that he will return to the Belgrade team for the new season. And well, I think that does kind of confirm it, unfortunately. Now maybe there's some kind of contract buyout route they could take, maybe rescinding that contract with their team and taking an NBA contract instead. I mean, that contract would definitely have to cover his EuroLeague contract and get him that money back, but I guess that could potentially be a pathway, though he is under contract and a guaranteed contract with a EuroLeague team as of right now. Though according to German teammate and not to mention current NBA star Franz Wagner, he said that Isaac Bonga should and likely will return back to the NBA, saying quote unquote, "I think he's shown over the past couple of years that he's an elite defender, shoots the 3 really well, and can make plays off the bounce too. So I think he could have a lot of teams interested in him." And according to reports, there definitely were teams that have reached out to him and would like to sign him, including the New York Knicks, but the lack of a concrete and likely a guaranteed NBA contract offer is what made him decline it and return back to his EuroLeague team, again that being Belgrade Partizan. You know, that might be for this season and it might be the case right now, but later on I would be on the lookout for Isaac Bonga. If he can maintain this and if he can eventually show this back in the NBA, then he could potentially be a great addition for any team and maybe the Lakers later on too. Especially if he would do some kind of contract buyout, especially more so around the NBA trade deadline and maybe come over at that time. That would be absolutely ideal in my opinion. But again, the unfortunate news is that it's not very likely right now, even if the Lakers could sign him. So with all of that being said, what do you guys think? How do you feel about the Eurobasket competition, the players that stood out from it, and not only the Luka Doncic's or the Giannis Antetokounmpos, but the guys like Isaac Bonga and Cedi Osman? Do you think they should be back in the NBA? Do you think the Lakers should sign them if they had an open spot and if they have enough room under the first apron? Would that be a good idea? Do they deserve to be back in the NBA? And how do you feel about it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But I think that'll pretty much do it for this one. And if you enjoyed the video, then I'll greatly appreciate it if you dropped a like, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and hit that notification bell to never miss out when I upload a video. But as always, thank you for watching and have a great day or night.